Before we start, I need to admit something. For years, I explained toxic friendships from the outside, but I ignored the one I was living inside. For a long time, I thought loyalty meant staying, adjusting, being available, no matter what it cost me. I didn't realize that the reason I always felt alert, careful, and anxious wasn't because I cared deeply. It was because my body didn't feel safe. This is not a story about betrayal. It's a story about how I slowly lost my right to be myself inside a friendship. I have spent days on this channel explaining the why behind toxic behaviors. Today, the theory ends and the reality begins. For over a decade, I was the primary subject of my own warnings. I stayed in a relationship that cost me my peace, my husband's professional reputation, and thousands of dollars in unpaid emotional and financial debt. I am stopping the lecture. I am going to show you the data of my own failure. This isn't a story time. It's a post-mortem of why I ignored my own data. Welcome to the audit of my subject zero. This wasn't a loud friendship. There were no obvious fights, no insults, no shouting. On the surface, it looked like closeness. I was the one who showed up, emotionally, financially, mentally. I was always there, always adjusting, always understanding. But something was always off. There were rules I never agreed to, but somehow followed. I could be there for her always, but she didn't have to be there for me. She could have other people in her life, but I couldn't. If she misunderstood something, I had to explain, apologize, fix it, even when I hadn't done anything wrong. Let's look at the variables. For 3 years, I paid her rent. I gave her money whenever she asked. Logically, I thought I was building a safety net for a friend who was too shy to survive. But here is the psychological truth. Empathy without boundaries is just enabling. By paying her way, I didn't make her feel loud. I made her feel small. She didn't see my help as a gift. She saw it as a debt she could never repay. So, she paid me back in resentment. She would lie to me about being sick, then go out with people who treated her like garbage. Why? Because with them, she didn't feel the weight of my kindness. Then came the collateral damage. I asked my husband to put his reputation on the line to get her a job. And when she quit for a lame misunderstanding, leaving him to clean up the mess, I realized the terrifying truth. A person who doesn't respect themselves will never respect the people you love. If you are listening to this and realizing that you too are subsidizing someone else's resentment, I want you to know you aren't alone. This channel is a space for radical honesty and data-driven healing. If this case study is helping you see your own patterns clearly for the first time, please subscribe and join our community of thinkers. Your support allows me to keep these deep dives unfiltered and intellectually honest. Now, let's look at the person in the mirror. The shift did not come with a big fight. It came with a quiet thought. Why do I feel lighter when there's distance? I had to admit that part of me liked being the hero. I had a savior complex. I thought if I was patient enough, I could love the jealousy out of her. I ignored the fact that she told me to my face that she was jealous of my life. I stopped trusting my instincts. I started believing that being a good person meant being uncomfortable. That's how people pleasing traps you, not by cruelty but by guilt. When the friendship ended, I expected pain, but there wasn't much. There was calm, there was space, there was peace. That's when I understood. What I thought was friendship was actually a role I was stuck in. One where my worth depended on how much I gave and how little I asked for in return. If you constantly feel alert around someone, if you're always careful not to upset them, if your body never relaxes, listen to that. Your body doesn't speak in words, It speaks in sensations, and mine was telling me the truth long before I was ready to hear it. Not every ending hurts. Some endings feel like coming home to yourself. And if you feel better after someone leaves your life, that's not cruelty, that's clarity. This is unfiltered mind space. And sometimes understanding begins when you stop calling survival friendship. If this story helped you see something clearly about yourself or someone in your life, stay here. This channel isn't about fixing people, it's about understanding patterns so you stop betraying yourself. Subscribe if you want more psychology that isn't performative, just honest. And if this resonated, tell me in the comments what was the moment you realized you weren't safe anymore.